Dave heads to AutoZone,
Welcome to AutoZone.
where a friendly AutoZoner helps him get premium quiet wipers and some hand warmers.
You're all set.
Now, if only his team can...
OutTaxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is taxes. Intuit TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Only available with TurboTax experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
Get more for your money at Elk Grove Chevrolet, where value meets style. Lease a new Chevrolet Trax for just $199 per month plus tax. Enjoy its roomy backseat, flat rear window, and simple, attractive interior packed with an 11-inch touchscreen, wireless Apple CarPlay, and wireless charging. The Trax delivers more for less. Visit myelkgrovechevrolet.com today for full lease details and see why the Trax is such a smart choice.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistent scent, all over Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
This new year, get started on your next success with University of Maryland Global Campus. An accredited state university, UMGC offers online and hybrid classes, along with more than 135 skills-based degrees and certificates in fields like business, cybersecurity, healthcare, and more. Gain the skills you need to achieve your career goals. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start January 7th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Call Maverick Electrical to claim your free furnace tune-up or electrical safety check with a donation. This month, donate 5 canned foods to Maverick Electric's Holiday Food Drive and get a free furnace tune-up or electrical safety check. They'll collect your cans at the appointment and make sure your heat stays comfy and your lights stay steady, so the only thing whistling is the kettle, not your ductwork. Visit callamaverick.com to schedule your free tune-up today.
What will a maverick do? 'Cause you're a maverick too.
Give to get with no gimmicks. Limited appointments. Some restrictions apply.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Feeding your passion for local sports in the afternoon. It's the Drive Guys on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at SactownSports.com and the Sactown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys.
Yes, welcome into the Drive Guys. Chris Watkins filling in for the one and only Whitey Gleason, enjoying his little holiday break. You just heard Alan Stiles. He'll be sitting in this chair tomorrow at this time. Him and Kayla Anderson holding down the fort. But you got me, Chris Watkins, for the next 2 hours leading you up to Monday Night Football. Should be a good one. Hopefully, maybe. Alan and I were just kind of talking about it. Who knows what Rams we get tonight. Rams-Falcons. Rams not really playing for much. Again, we went through it a little bit about an hour ago on Alan's show. Definitely go check that out over on our YouTube page. But, the Rams not really playing for much. After last night, the San Francisco 49ers getting one of the most exciting wins of the season, if not the most exciting win. Of course, everyone here locally is probably going to have a little bit of bias in that, but the Bears have been involved in another crazy one of those games. I think it was the Bengals earlier in the season where they scored 40-plus on both sides, and if I'm not mistaken, Colston Loveland scored a touchdown at the buzzer. Crazy one in that one. So many crazy games this season in the NFL, but last night might have taken the cake. I mean, you had a game where they showed a stat or talked about the stat in the middle of the game. I think Mike Tirico shouted it out. It was the first game in NFL regular season history that was tied at 7-7, 14-14, 21-21, 28-28, and then 35-35. No field goals, no nothing, just all touchdowns, all the good stuff. And it was from jump. I mean, literally from Jump Street. Like, the game was incredible. Obviously, shout out the Niners who were down, you could say, Trent Williams for that game. He got hurt on the first play of the game, which was absolutely insane. Brock Purdy throws a pick six on the first play of the game. and that's how we get that one started. I mean, I'd imagine Niner fans started sweating it out after that one. Obviously down, all the players there down. And then to have Brock, I don't know if I don't want to play the percentage game of whose fault it all is, but what obviously wasn't the ideal start. And then you double it down with Trent Williams going out. You weren't sure if it was going to be for the whole game. And then at halftime, they announced he was going to miss the remainder of it. So you had no Trent Williams, no George Kittle in that one. He was sitting on the sideline. Obviously no Fred Warner, who let off the foghorn to start off the game. There's still a lot of talk about Fred Warner potentially coming back for the playoffs. We'll see.
And I'll just put it like this, Chris. When I walked in the building, he was basically standing right next to my right-hand side. Yes, I went to the game. He was standing right next to my right-hand side, so I saw the whole foghorn as he was trying to get the crowd pumped up. And then you saw Jalen Johnson make the play, and T.J. Edwards take it back, and it was 7-0 before you even knew what happened.
Yeah, I mean it was crazy. I'm not so certain that Fred Warner is going to be coming back for the playoffs. People keep talking about it. Hey man, again, it's a little bit like the Max Crosby conversation Alan and I just had. Like, I get it. You want to, I'm not even going to say put up a front. Who's to say how injured anybody is? And of course, Fred Warner, disgusting injury. Like that looked about as bad as it can get. And maybe that's why, from an optics perspective, I'm a little bit squeamish to say, hey, like, I don't necessarily want to risk that guy jumping out there after seeing what happened. Maybe that's my fault for looking at the injury just from a gore standpoint as opposed to, what the actual timeline recovery might be. But that thing looked nasty. And, yesterday I saw a video of him celebrating with his team running onto the field, or actually I shouldn't say running onto the field. I would say a quick walk, a speed walk, if you will, onto the field. And that kind of told me right there, like, in that moment with that game, if Fred Warner, and, again, they're not saying Fred Warner's practicing this week and going to come back, but they are talking about here, if we're talking he's coming back in the playoffs, it's in the next month. I don't know. He didn't seem like he was running, jumping. Again, very, very quick pace, and I'm not a doctor here. I hate when people use that caveat, because obviously I'm hosting a radio show here. I'm not a doctor, but I don't know. I'm just a little bit hesitant to believe that Fred Warner is going to come back, and especially if you're going to expect the Fred Warner that was, I was going to say potentially, but honestly was the best defender in the NFL when he was playing. I just think that's a little bit far-fetched, and I think it's a little bit ambitious. But I'm not trying to take away from how great that Niners victory was yesterday, and it was truly, truly incredible all the way down to the final play. But I can't mention the final play before I mention Brock. And I mean, that throw that he had, I shouldn't even call it the throw he had, the escape that he had, down at the goal line or in the red zone, where he escapes the touchdown, weaves through Bears defenders, and then just finds, I think it was Kyle Juszczyk wide open in the corner of the end zone or on the sideline of the end zone. Just absolutely disgusting. And I know Chris Collinsworth did his, if this were Patrick Mahomes, people would be saying, Patrick Mahomes. But it really, truly was something that looked like greatness. And I'm not saying Brock Purdy is in the category of the elite quarterbacks. We've had that conversation countless times. But, man, he's looked great. Like, he has looked terrific coming back from that turf toe. And a lot of people, I mean, especially with how the injury was managed, weren't certain on, how he would look. And I think the first couple games, people were, I didn't forget, people were saying, should we maybe consider bringing Mac Jones back in there? Because he had a good couple stretch of games. Come on. Like, that's where I started to lose it. Like, yes, Mac Jones played well. Yes, the Niners won those games. But to say that he was playing to the quality of Brock Purdy, who they literally had just paid this man out for playing to a certain level, and to just kind of throw all of those performances away so quickly and say, Mac Jones really did a pretty decent impression of Brock Purdy, good enough that I feel like we could get rid of Brock Purdy and just move forward with a discounted Mac. That was crazy to me. And Niner fans are going to have to wear that, because y'all definitely were piping up about it. But Brock Purdy has looked fantastic since coming back. I've got the numbers here. Just under 1,500 yards, 16 touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns, 16 passing touchdowns, that is. 3 rushing touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 70% completion percentage in the 6 games since returning. Niners 6-0 in that stretch. He's been terrific. Josh Dubois of the AP put out last night, 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy is the 6th player since the merger to win back-to-back games with 5+ touchdowns passing and rushing. Tom Brady, 3 in 2007. Russell Wilson, 2020. Deshaun Watson, 2017. Ben Roethlisberger, 2014. And my guy, Dante Culpepper, in 2004. I mean, I could tell you some things about that Dante Culpepper 2004 season, but don't have the time. Brock Purdy has been absolutely fantastic. And, frankly, it's surprised me a little bit, but he's shown the ability to just kind of have, I won't call it what Johnny Manziel had at Texas A&M, but he does just kind of have that, it doesn't necessarily, I won't even say it doesn't always look great. It just, it seems like it's not going to keep going his way, but it just does. And I think that scramble yesterday, maybe that really just put it into my mind because it just reminded me of Johnny Manziel throwing a touchdown against Alabama where he's scrambling, and finds, but it had to have been Mike Evans in the back of the end zone at A&M. But him to just kind of have that elusivity, I'm not going to check the dictionary on that one, but to just look the part, really, I think is the thing that has impressed me most with Brock Purdy. And, I wasn't even somebody who's been bashing Brock Purdy throughout his career. I'm somebody who's frankly just been like, look at the results, man. Like, the guy has been good. He's making throws. And, it doesn't look like Patrick Mahomes. Does it look like Josh Allen? No, but his team is winning, and he is definitely absolutely a part of it, and he's not making mistakes. And that's what he's continued to do. Make plays, not make mistakes. He doesn't have Brandon Ayuk out there. He doesn't have Deebo Samuel out there. He hasn't had George Kittle out there for a lot of it. I've got to give him his credit. Like, I'm not here to be the Niners rah-rah, they're the best team in California. Like, I'm not that guy. But I'm telling you, I'm probably, as a matter of fact, I'm going to speak out of two because I don't even think the Niners season has been that impressive. I'm hearing the Kyle Shanahan Coach of the Year stuff. Their schedule's weak. Like, it's been weak since the start of the year. We'll look through it. I mean, their division is obviously incredibly tough. You cannot take away from the divisional games. But we're talking about them beating the Titans, like we're talking about them getting excited about, beating the Jaguars. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. Like, I think I'm not, you got to play who's in front of you. Absolutely. They've done it. They've absolutely done it. But, I think that they, I've been impressed by more specifically the Rams throughout this season. I don't think Seattle is necessarily going to be the team to beat in the NFC either. But
I will say this first and foremost: they did not beat the Jaguars. The Jaguars, the Jaguars lightweight embarrassed them, even though the Jaguars only won by 5.
That's right. There you go. So I mean, I was more just
and that was at Levi Stadium.
I was more just pointing out that their schedule was weak, and I didn't have the specifics of the schedule in front of me, but was more pointing that the schedule was weak, and if they lose to the Jaguars, that would have been one of their more impressive wins, frankly, and it didn't happen. So there you go. There you have it. And then, yes, of course, the last play of the game, it all comes down to the Niners. Just, shout out Robert Saleh. Everyone's pointing it out on social media, but only rushed 2, got a free rusher on the last play with the disguise, dropped everybody else back in coverage. There was nowhere for Caleb Williams to go, and he was scrambling. And
I'll say this: as someone that was at the game, it was hard for me to see where I was at. But he almost completed that pass.
He did.
It looked like he was slightly short on the throw, but he almost completed that pass to Luther Burden. And we'd be talking about another last play of the game. Caleb Williams touchdown pass to somebody else on the Bears. But
absolutely. But if we're gonna play that game, like, he also almost had a touchdown a couple plays before in the red zone as well. I can't remember who it was to. I don't think it was to Luther Burden, but he had somebody streaking right across the field as he was rolling right and had somebody right in front of him. Same situation, kind of thrown off his back foot. He missed it by about the same, I think that one was probably actually worse than I'm describing, but the worst one to me thrown off his back foot.
The worst one to me wasn't even the one wasn't the one he threw off his back foot. It was the one that, I don't know if you say it was short or just the concentration wasn't there. It was one that Colston Loveland had dead in his hands, and he dropped it on that same final drive. And I thought if Colston Loveland could have held on to it, he could have kept streaking down. If he might have been able to score, but unfortunately, he dropped it.
Yeah, it was a great game. It was a fantastic game. It could have gone either way, and that's how you know, again, a true classic. Like there was moments where it felt like the Bears were really going to snatch it from the last seconds there. And the Niners, to their credit, they get the win, and I think that's definitely the win that I've been I was going to say most impressed with. I think earlier in the season, that Rams game, again, the game that kind of got everyone hyped on Mac Jones, that game continues to stick out to me, but an incredibly impressive win last night for the Niners. They now have the opportunity to play for the 1 seed in the NFC against the Seattle Seahawks next week. That's going to be on Saturday at 5 p.m. on ABC, ESPN as well. And it's Sam Darnold's chance at redemption. It's pretty hilarious that it all comes back to San Francisco, where I guess you could kind of quasi say it started. You could say that Kyle Shanahan kind of got the ball rolling on the Sam Darnold comeback train with that season he was in San Francisco. Obviously, Minnesota picks him up the next year. Vikings go 14-2 last year with Sam Darnold. Head to the road last week of the season against a 14-2 Lions team to decide the NFC North. And what happens? I'll tell you what happens. Sam Darnold did not show up. And then the next week, after losing that Week 18 game that could have won the division, didn't show up again in the first round of the playoffs. And history has a weird way of repeating itself. And so now Sam Darnold, who leads the 13-3, I'm still setting it up.
I was just saying, as you said, history repeating itself. He's got the chance to be, I think, one of like 3 or 4 quarterbacks to win 14 games 2 years in a row.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And Sam Darnold has a chance at 13-3 to have the Seahawks go on the road in San Francisco, 12-4, to decide the NFC West and the 1 seed in the NFC. So history, again, setting itself up for Sam Darnold to potentially redeem himself. Or what I think is frankly going to happen is Sam Darnold is going to reveal who he truly is. If somebody shows you their colors, true colors, believe them. Sam Darnold showed us who he was last year. I watched it every week. Everyone told me every single week last year, as I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan, Sam Darnold, wow, really impressive. And I kept saying, hey, yeah, it's good. Defense is great. Brian Flores continues to show great defense. He's got great weapons around him. Kevin O'Connell, great system. Not trying to take away from Sam Darnold. Obviously, he has to make the throws, but the situation is really, really good.
I got a question for you. Would you say Sam Darnold had better weapons last year in Minnesota, or does he have better weapons on offense this year in Seattle?
It's not a question, Minnesota. Minnesota, hands down, not even close.
I understand your bias. You are a Vikings fan.
Ramsey.
But I'll put it to you like this. In both seasons, he's had the number one wide receiver in the NFL. Last year, it was Justin Jefferson. This year, Jackson Smith and Jigba, hands down. You can call 916-339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. I'll dispute this with anybody. Jackson Smith and Jigba has been the best receiver this season.
Yes, he has.
In the National Football League.
Yes, he has. Undoubtedly. Yes, he has. So, yes, this weekend, Seahawks, Niners, NFC South title, NFC West title, I'm sorry. Also, number 1 seed in the NFC coming up. You also have on Saturday as well. You have the Niners at 5 leading into that. You got Panthers at Bucks, 1:30, ESPN for the NFC South. Now, what's the complete inverse of the NFC West? Is the NFC West has 3 teams that are about to have potentially 12, maybe 2 teams that have 13 wins. You have the NFC South, which still somehow gets to, as we are in a non-participation trophy universe these days, the NFC South just gets to come in and have a team with who's 8-8 right now in the Carolina Panthers, could potentially finish under 500, I guess. Well, I guess they wouldn't win the division at that point, but the Bucks, if they win, would be 8-9, and they would win the division. There you go.
I got to quote, which division's worse, the NFC South or the AFC North?
I'm not sure. It's a race, though. It's it's crazy. And then on Sunday Night Football, you have the AFC North title, Ravens at Steelers, 5:20, NBC, and that's for them all. I mean, again, that's for the division, AFC North. That one is another one, too, where that's been a bit of a participation trophy. No one's tried to win it. The Ravens obviously started off the season as terribly as you can. Lamar Jackson's had the season from hell. They definitely don't deserve to make the playoffs with how, frankly, Lamar has played. But I would say the Steelers, they had their opportunity this week against the Browns. And if you can't take care of business, granted, I know in Cleveland, but if you can't take care of business and you're supposed to be a playoff team and you got Aaron Rodgers and you set all this up to not be 9-8 again, here you are.
I mean,
facing 9-8.
In my opinion, as you talk about that Steelers game, from everything that I heard and from some of the clips I watched, I believe the Pittsburgh Steelers were more concerned with stopping Myles Garrett from getting the sack record and not sacking Aaron Rodgers.
That's what he said.
Rather than actually going out
allegedly
in Cleveland and finding a way to beat them and win the division.
That's what he said. It's a good narrative. I don't know. I didn't catch all the game. I know Myles Garrett didn't get the sack. I know the Browns won. It's convenient. That feels a little bit crazy to me to care about a sack record more than the division. Maybe it did happen, but I don't know. And then you have the Packers on Sunday. They potentially they don't know exactly who they're going to play. That one is going to be determined by if the Eagles win against the Commanders and the Bears lose, then the Packers go to Philly. Anything else, it will be a rubber match against the Bears. And, we'll see. I mean, Malik Willis has looked great. I don't know, if they're feeling like, I don't know. We could have a whole separate Jordan Love conversation. Obviously, it's Jordan Love's team. I don't think that they're going to, flip everything because Malik Willis has a great couple stretches. It is a little bit ironic that it is the team that paid Matt Flynn all of that money all those years ago. But I mean, it's just crazy. The NFL heading into Week 18 should be a good schedule. You have that Commanders at Eagles Sunday 1:25 on CBS. Lions at Bears Sunday at 1:25 as well. Obviously, they have to kind of stagger the schedule a little bit to make sure no one's throwing games or anything like that. But should be a fairly decent week in terms of setting up for the playoffs. Usually, I feel like it's not this many scenarios that can have impact on title winners. So again, we have the NFC just in general up for grabs with Seahawks and Niners Saturday 5:00 on ABC. You have the NFC South title Panthers at Bucks right before that 1:30. And then on Sunday, you have Sunday Night Football, Ravens at Steelers for the AFC North. So
I mean, it's so wild. It's so wild in the NFC West. San Francisco could lose on Saturday. They could end up being the 6th seed. They could drop all the way down to the 6. They could be 1, 5, or 6. And I think, and I'm led to believe, I could be stood corrected, the team that doesn't win the NFC West, I think they're all jockeying to get that 5 seed so they can go to either Carolina or Tampa Bay to see what they can do against the NFC South champion. But let me put this caveat out there.
I'm sure. Not
so fast, my friend, because we do remember what happened earlier in the season when the Los Angeles Rams traveled cross-country to Charlotte, North Carolina. The Panthers found a way to beat the Rams at home. So, therefore, especially when it comes to the playoffs, I mean, hey, you can get what you ask for, but don't bite off more than you could chew, because that NFC South team could still find a way to win at home. We have seen this on multiple occasions. I mean, I'll put it like this. The most famous game that comes to people's memory was roughly a little over 10 years ago. We all remember, as we call them kinfolk out here in Northern California, in Marshawn Lynch and the Beastquake, when they were under 500 and had the Saints come in and they found a way to beat them. So let's not underestimate the NFC South champion just yet. While it looks favorable, the playoffs are a different animal regardless of the situation. That's the same for the AFC North champion. Let's not underestimate it because it's a home game and the playoffs are a different animal.
Absolutely. I did something this weekend that I have never, ever, ever, ever done in my life, and I'll tell you about that. It's the first time I've ever done this, and I really don't even know why I did it. I'll tell you what it is, and hopefully we can get to it coming up next right here. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
The Drive Guys, weekdays 2 p.m. to 6 p.m.
On Sactown Sports 1140.
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Year-end pricing's in effect. Every vehicle's priced to sell before the new year during Happy Honda Days. At Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Get behind the wheel of your new Accord or Civic today. Own or lease during Happy Honda Days at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Visit us at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Guys, leave weight gain, low T, and ED in 2025. For a limited time, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is offering free full diagnostic panels, a $400 value. It checks testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. Plus, qualified patients get up to 25% off select treatments now through year end. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
At Elk Grove Honda, our recipe for happy holidays is to think Happy Honda Days. Let's explain. Happy is a good thing. We all like happy. Happy stands for quality, reliability, comfort, design, peace of mind, value at resale, and a lot more important words. And days is how long you have to take advantage of Elk Grove Honda's 2025 Accord, Pilot, and Ridgeline year-end clearance underway right now. Elk Grove Honda is located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard, or on the web at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Listen to the 49ers Red Zone Report daily, brought to you by Mountain Mike's Pizza, the official pizza of the 49ers. Mountain Mike's Pizza, pizza the way it ought to be.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options. Heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's TREX.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Just announced, Stockton Honda has been named #1 of California's best car dealers in 2025 by USA Today and Statista. This prestigious award is based on thousands of customer reviews and recommendations, ranking dealerships for service, value, and satisfaction. Out of hundreds evaluated, Stockton Honda is proud to be #1, recognized for all-around excellence and commitment to our customers. Visit Stockton Honda, where reputation meets the road.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
In Sacramento my whole life, been a Kings fan my whole life. Really, really throughout the bad years. I'm talking DeMarcus Cousins. I'm talking Tyreek Evans. I'm talking Beno Udrith. I'm talking everything. I've still tuned on for the Kings games, you know? And that was before it was my job to talk on air. It was before it was my job to do anything that had to do with, you know, actually paying attention to the team. It was just out of, I wouldn't say joy, but I just did it. And yesterday, I don't know why. It's crazy because it's coming off a Kings victory, but I just could not do it. I could not put on the Kings. I could not find myself to put on the Kings game. It was just, it was a weird feeling. I felt like, you know, in the past, I kind of talked about it with Alan, like whether it was convincing yourself that, you know, DeMarcus Cousins was going to elevate that team, be good enough to elevate that team. Ben McLemore, if Ben can just, you know, find some consistency here and get his shot and get some confidence. Nick Stauskas, you know, through the Marvin Bagley years, like, you know, De'Aaron obviously kind of figured it out a little bit, but there was always something for me to watch for. And, you know, you can maybe argue the Maxime Reynaud stuff right now is fun, and we'll talk about Max a little bit later, but it just, right now, it to me was more symptomatic of emotionally where it feels like this Kings situation is at, where, you know, it feels like there's not resentment, but like almost people are resigned. They're just, the worst thing that you can have is not eliciting an emotion. And it feels like obviously people are frustrated with the Kings, but I think right now more than ever, people just kind of are giving up and are saying, you know, I'll tune in when they're good or wake me up when, you know, a trade happens or something. Right now, there's just no juice. You know, there's just nothing that's calling you there to watch the game, especially, and that's just on a Tuesday night I'm talking about. I'm not talking about Sunday when we got playoff implications, when the Niners are in the middle of the best game they've ever played. Like, I just, you know, that's how it feels. It just feels like there's nothing going on there. So there you go. Yeah. And that's after Saturday. You know, they win and take down the Dallas Mavericks. You know, they have you know, I would say a good performance. It was fun to see Russ out there do his thing. Keon starts. Obviously, tons of people talking about Keon. 5 of 10 from 3, getting the start. I think that's exactly what people want to see. 5 of 10 from 3. Russ, 21 points, 9 assists, 5 threes from Russ. He's doing record, you know, like he's every night you're getting passing X and Y and Z on the steals record and assists record, and it feels good. Maxime Reynaud, again, we'll talk about the rookies at 3. 19 points, 6 rebounds. Cooper Flagg, which spawned what our next segment is going to be about. Cooper Flagg, man, comes to Sacramento, and I think that's the attraction, right? If we're playing the game of the Kings just don't have pull in the NBA in general, what is the thing that's going to bring you as a fan to the arena? You know, maybe not watch on TV, but spend your hard-earned money, have a night out. It'd be Cooper Flagg, like his debut in Sacramento. First time you could say, you know, maybe you're somebody who's into the high school mixtapes and stuff, and you saw the main event, and you follow Cooper Flagg, and you think he fits into the Wemby category of things. Kind of showed out, you know, relatively. Obviously not, not 50. I think Kawhi had 55 last night, so wasn't one of those performances, but 23 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 7 of 13 from the field, 3 of 4 from three-point land in his Sacramento Kings, or I guess his Sacramento debut, not his Sacramento Kings debut, of course. And so that was Saturday. Beam lit during the day. You get to see it come up throughout the night. Feelings are feeling all right. And then Sunday. That brings us to Sunday. Again, just didn't have the energy for it. Didn't feel like doing it. I cut it on, of course, later on when the Niners game was over, but there was not. And you know, please let me know. Let me know if you agree with me. Does it feel like you want to watch the Kings? What is drawing you to the Kings on a nightly basis right now? What is it? What are you watching for? Is it Maxime right now? Is it Neek? Are you turning on your TV hoping to see Keon Ellis? Like, I don't know what it is that people are hoping for at this moment. And so that, you know, I guess I could have tuned in on Sunday to see Keon start again to see, I guess that would have been it, right? Sunday. So let's say I tune in Sunday and I say, all right, I'm going to pick Kings-Lakers because I'm just a diehard. And I think this rivalry still got juice. And so I'm trying to see Keon Ellis bounce, have I guess not a bounce back, but a continuation of good play in his second straight start. All right, maybe they'll look for Keon a little bit. Nope. Keon starts again, 2 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals, 22 minutes, 1 of 5 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3. There's nothing there. There's just nothing there. Maxime, great game, double-double. Most of those, we'll acknowledge, happened when the game was, 25-plus points, Lakers lead. Third quarter, I think he had 10 in the second half. Finishes with 16 and 10. Okay. Again, we'll get more into the rookies and how we feel about the rookies and that dynamic a little bit later. But yeah, just not great. Not great from Keon Ellis. I mean, and I'm not blaming him. I'm not saying he's the sole reason why. Absolutely not. I would but I would say that the finger probably more so belongs to DeMar DeRozan. 8 of 17 from the field. He had it going, and he did. He was on fire the first half of the game. I should admit I watched the game back. I didn't just completely neglect the game. I knew I would obviously have to be talking today, so I made sure to hit those points. But DeMar, 8 of 17 from the field. Again, he had it going early, but the continuation of shooting. And then Russ, I know you're back in L.A. I know both those dudes are back in L.A. I know, Russ obviously has some personal beef with the Lakers. 13 points for Russ, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 6 of 17 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3. That's just not to me, that's not them being good veterans. And I'm usually those two specifically, I'm saying the complete opposite. I'm saying usually those two are, the veterans to look at. Not if you're going to perform like that. It's one thing to be a good veteran in the locker room. It's another thing to be a good veteran on the floor. And I think, again, for the most part, especially Russell Westbrook has been really good at that. He's been a big reason why Maxime Reynaud has had as big of games as he has had so far, because he is looking for him on the pick and roll, for Maxime to get that little push shot. So absolutely, on most nights, Russ is doing that. But on the second night of a back-to-back, when you're flying to Los Angeles, they're at full strength. LeBron, Luka, you heard, I don't know if you heard, actually, JJ Redick called out his team, pretty much said, these guys, I think he said since LeBron has came back, the offense just hasn't looked as organized. The gist is pretty much the gist of it. So JJ had called that team out. That's a team that is actually pretty successful, but looking to kind of right the ship. And for the veterans to just kind of not recognize, hey, again, second night of back-to-back, maybe we don't have our legs under us. DeMar kind of got us going early, but we're going to need the young guys late. That lack of recognition, to me, is just kind of been a little bit of the synopsis of why this King season hasn't been fun. And, I think to Doug's credit, I guess, and I've given him credit for it, for really the entirety of the season, he has not been afraid to play the young guys at all. Maxime has gotten, obviously, a little bit of shoehorned that opportunity with Domas being out, but Dylan Cardwell has played 6 straight games. Dylan Cardwell, started the second or third game of the season? Neek, again, we'll talk about the rookies at 3 o'clock. Neek has played through his struggles. Doug has allowed him to play, even though Neek, he's been a good role player, but he hasn't really shown a lot of, I won't say winning plays, but he's not, he's just out there being a role player is what I'll say about what Neek has done so far this year. And there's obviously both positive and negative connotations with that 100%. But for the most part, I think what that made me feel on Sunday, the feeling of why should I even tune into this? What's the motivation for me to want to watch the Kings play basketball over any other form of entertainment? Because I'm a sports fan. I am. There's a lot of people in this market who just talk Kings. There's a lot of people in this market who completely ignore football on their programs. And I get it. I'm in all the same conversations. I know Kings sell here more than anything else. But, I just kind of feel like the Kings just aren't giving people a reason to want to tune in. I know Kings fans already inherently want to tune in. They want to care. They want to have a reason. They want to not have a reason to tune. Like I say that to say, like, they just want to tune in because it's second nature to them. But right now it feels like all the goodwill, the positive feelings, and maybe I'm just too soaked in it. Maybe, Jason Ross always likes to say there's just two completely different universes between the in-arena crowd and the Twitter crowd or the social media crowd. And I definitely think that that's the case, and it could be definitely exemplified in this. But to me, I even go to the games, and it just doesn't feel the same. It feels like where the crowd used to just come with a battery attached to it, you got to give them a reason. And that's, I guess, maybe to an extent always been the case, but now more than ever, it feels like this crowd needs an excuse to get going, and they've given it to them a couple times, and I will say they've played a lot better these past couple weeks than they were the 2 previous weeks before that, especially offensively. But I just, I'm looking, I'm searching, and I don't want to be the person that's saying, wake me up when a trade happens, but boy, oh boy, it just feels like this team is rudderless right now. It feels like there is no reason to tune in on a nightly basis. And frankly, that's sad, because as we talk about, the Kings aren't the only disappointing team in the NBA. Look at the Clippers. Like, Clippers, again, had Kawhi Leonard score 55 points last night. Brook Lopez the other night hit 9 threes. And I know Brook and Kawhi aren't necessarily young guys to get excited about, but those are stars. Those are stars playing like stars. And Kings stars, they don't play like that. They definitely are not playing like that. Russ has played well. He's been a great signing, but he has not played superstar level. He has not played good enough to, hey, second night of a back-to-back, I cooked last night, I'm ready to cook again. And to me, that was the problem. That's what went wrong, I should say, with the game yesterday that I did eventually have to watch later. Actually, I watched it this morning. But, yeah, so I don't really feel bad about it. I shouldn't feel bad about it, but it felt like the right decision, I should say. I feel, especially with the Niners game ending the way it did, it definitely felt justified to pick that game over the Kings game. And I just kind of wonder, is it a slippery slope? This week it's the Niners game that's better than the Kings. Next week, is it, olive picking? I don't know. Who knows? All of us in Sacramento might be getting new hobbies soon if the Kings don't start turning things around and getting exciting. And, I would love to tell you it's just as simple as playing the young guys, but I really don't know if it's that simple, because that might somehow actually look worse. And again, I think they've played better, much better over these past 2 weeks, but man, oh man, it's just a weird spot that the Kings are in right now. And it's one that I can't remember this much feeling of helplessness, I guess, in a pretty long time. Coming up next, again, I mentioned Cooper Flagg, and he gave me this idea to look back at some of the most notable debuts in Sacramento history. You're listening to The Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sactown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for 3, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Charlie's battery is struggling to start. Not ideal before the tailgate, so he goes to AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone,
where a friendly AutoZoner tests his battery for free. Looks like he needs a new one, so he gets a Duralast battery.
have fun and stay warm.
And he makes it to the tailgate early enough to get his favorite spot. Free battery testing and charging. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you. while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is taxes. Intuit TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Only available with TurboTax experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Call Maverick Electrical to claim your free furnace tune-up or electrical safety check with a donation. This month, donate 5 canned foods to Maverick Electric's Holiday Food Drive and get a free furnace tune-up or electrical safety check. They'll collect your cans at the appointment and make sure your heat stays comfy and your lights stay steady, so the only thing whistling is the kettle, not your ductwork. Visit callamaverick.com to schedule your free tune-up today.
What will a Maverick do? 'Cause you're a Maverick too.
Give to get with no gimmicks. Limited appointments, some restrictions apply.
Award-winning guitarist and songwriter Gary Clark Jr. Tour 2026, Saturday, January 31st, 7 p.m., the venue at Thunder Valley. An electrifying night of music with Gary Clark Jr. Special guest, Marcus King Band. On sale at the venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit thundervalleyresort.com. Gary Clark Jr. Live.
Coach Christie here, letting you know the year-end sell-a-thon is on at Folsom Lake Ford, and with your approved credit, get 0% financing plus 0 down, plus no payments for 90 days on select new Fords. Hurry to Folsom Lake Ford today. Interest accrues from date of purchase.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-771-1300. That's 800-771-1300.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Rain on game day doesn't faze Dave. He's already got his poncho. Just needs to do something about those wipers. So Dave heads to AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone.
Where a friendly AutoZoner helps him get premium quiet wipers and some hand warmers.
You're all set.
Now, if only his team can handle the elements as well as his new wipers. Get wipers, glass cleaner, and more with no hassles, just help at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome back into the Drive, guys. Chris Watkins here, bringing you all the way up till 4 p.m. Glad to be here. Just talked a little bit about the Kings. And, my decision to not watch the game live, I should say, on Sunday. As the San Francisco 49ers, frankly, they gave us every reason to not tune into that Kings game. A really, really good one. Niners played. Have to give them credit where credit is due. And it was a doozy. It was a doozy of a weekend. It's been a crazy holiday weekend for me. Honestly, frankly, I did try and get away from sports quite a bit throughout this weekend. I thought it would be a good opportunity with, my Minnesota Vikings and the Kings out of any sort of playoff consideration to kind of take a step back and enjoy family, enjoy the week. And I hope everybody did that as well. Definitely hope people found pockets, as this holiday season. We had more NFL games on the 25th, kind of clashing with the NBA. By the way, I think the NBA won that battle for what it's worth. That, T-Wolves Nuggets game went to OT, was absolutely incredible. in all the football games. I think had Max Brosmer played in the Vikings game. It was Brosmer against Jared Goff, which somehow the Vikings still won. And then you had third string quarterback for the Chiefs going against the Broncos, who are actually playing for something. So, yeah, I think the NBA gets a rare dub over the NFL in that one, and kind of keeping Christmas Day tradition going, I guess. I'm definitely more of somebody who thinks of Christmas in the basketball sense. So it was good to see that, and good to have a nice little holiday retreat. So now, as I mentioned in the previous segment, Cooper Flagg had himself a nice little Sacramento debut. Candidly, I will say, as I just was candid with you, I wasn't in the building on Saturday. Decided to kind of take the time to enjoy the holiday still, and so I wasn't in the building with my own two eyes to see Cooper Flagg, have that performance, watch the beam be lit right in front of Cooper Flagg's face, but you're still watching on TV, and Cooper, he without a doubt was the best player for Dallas that game. Looked like he was controlling things. I don't think Dallas really played like they had a chance, but I shouldn't say that. I mean, it was more just, the Kings actually played really well. It was probably one of the best played games for the Kings all season. But Coop, 23 points, 6 boards, 5 assists, 7 of 13 from the field, 3 3-pointers made in his Sacramento debut. We've heard Anthony Edwards talk about how Sacramento, something about it, the rims, the backboard, the lighting in between the backboard and the rim, or the crowd and the backboard, I should say. Something about the depth perception or whatever. So, good to see Cooper Flagg is co-signing Anthony Edwards, saying that something's different about those Sacramento rims. I decided to go back into history, pull up the archives, go into the vault, and see who had some miraculous Sacramento debuts. Obviously basketball came here to Sacramento in 1985, the 85-86 season, actually, to be exact, and that's going to play a factor into this first person that we're going to say. So the 84-85 draft class was Michael Jordan, Hakeem Olajuwon. Unfortunately, that was, again, the last year of the Kansas City Kings, so Sacramento Kings fans didn't get to see rookie Michael Jordan. As a matter of fact, they actually didn't even get to see second-year Michael Jordan. I looked into the Basketball Reference. Michael Jordan broke his right foot in the third game of his second year in 85-86. He missed 64 of a potential 82 games that season. For what it's worth, the Sacramento Kings, who were 6-12 at the time, did take down the 7-14 Chicago Bulls in that game. So, they did take care of business. Funny that the Bulls were 7-14 at that point in the season without MJ. It wasn't until year 3, that was March 21st, 1987. MJ had 40 points, 5 assists, 4 steals, 7 turnovers in his Sacramento debut. 13 of 24 from the field, 0 of 1 from 3, which is more of just a sign of how things have changed. And he was 14 of 15 from the free throw line. I'll spoil it. That was definitely the best debut that I looked into. And I really kind of tried to keep it at the most notable ones, the MJs. I didn't look into Larry Bird and all that stuff because that was a little bit deeper into their career. But I got MJ in there. So again, Michael Jordan, first appearance in Sacramento, March 21st, 1987. 40 points, 5 assists, 4 steals, 7 turnovers though. They did get you, MJ. 7 turnovers, 13 to 24 from the field, 14 of 15 from the free throw line. So then, after looking up the Mike numbers, I said, all right, well, who was just in general the first big star to come through Sacramento, come through the Arco 1? You could argue it was, I can't remember his name, he was the 3rd pick in the 85 draft, which was the Patrick Ewing draft. It was a pick by the Clippers, somebody I'd never heard of. The dude played like 9 minutes. I wouldn't consider it. The first big star to come to Sacramento was year 2, Hakeem Olajuwon. Hakeem the Dream came to Sacramento, 3rd game of the season, October 31st, 1985. Hakeem, and this is in year 2. This is like the start of year 2 for Hakeem. 30 points, 19 boards, 7 of those being offensive rebounds. Somehow 0 blocks, which is crazy. Hakeem Olajuwon, NBA's all-time block shot leader, 0 blocks in his debut in Sacramento, 8 of 11 from the field, and I believe Houston did get the victory in that one. They did not actually. The Sacramento Kings get their first win of the season in that one, 122-116. So there's Hakeem Olajuwon. Then Patrick Ewing. I mentioned Patrick Ewing was the big star, the big freshman, I should say, at that time, not freshman, the first big rookie to come through Sacramento. That was in the 85-86 season. February 3rd, 1986, Patrick Ewing. And I'm sure, I'm mainly bringing up these people because I'm sure there's a handful. Thank you. And who is this? Bonte the Young. Benoit Benjamin was that third pick for the Clippers that I was referring to. He came to Sacramento the first game of the season, actually, Clippers at Kings. Only played like 9 minutes, didn't really score. I've never heard of Benoit Benjamin. I consider myself a little bit of a basketball historian, and that one slipped through the cracks for me. So Benoit Benjamin, shout out him. But yeah, Patrick Ewing, again, I mentioned these guys more specifically. This is the first year the Kings were in Sacramento, and so I can't imagine the hype, especially Georgetown Patrick Ewing. Like, what are we talking about? I cannot imagine how prized that ticket must have been at that time to go see a rookie Patrick Ewing after the college career he had, after going to the Knicks and just all the expectations of that season. First season in Sacramento, that ticket must have been one of the top 3 to 5 tickets for that year. So Patrick Ewing in his Sacramento debut, 18 points, 10 boards, 8 of 22. I'd say pretty decent for the Kings in that one. So then we jump in time a little bit more. Let's go more towards, a different age here with Kobe Bryant, which this one was the most surprising to me, especially considering division rival. Now, some people will point that Kobe came straight out of high school. Wasn't an immediate star in the LeBron James ilk, in the Cooper Flagg ilk, or anything like that. So Kobe, 0 points in 6 minutes, all of those minutes in the second quarter. Of course, we know LeBron James debuted here in Sacramento. He had 25 points and 9 assists on October 29, 2003. KD, I thought this was interesting, 27 points for the Seattle Supersonics. 27 points, 11 for 22, 3 of 9 from the field in the fourth game of his career. In Kevin Durant's fourth game of his career, he came to Sacramento, 27 points, 3 of 9 from 3. And and then, I decided to pull up Steph as well. Steph, of course, as well, like Kobe, a division opponent, 9 points in his first game in Sacramento. Second game, though, we started to see the Steph Curry we know today. I will not say know and love. 27 points, 9 boards, 6 assists for Steph, 3 of 10 from three-point land in that second game on January 26, 2010. Don't think anybody really had that one circled as, I just saw a future star tonight. Zion, funny enough, I bring him up. His debut was meant to be on March 11th, 2020. That debut never happened because that was the day that the basketball and sports and kind of world in general shut down from COVID-19. I will never forget. I was literally on the floor, feet on the floor, as the NBA is announcing this game is going to be canceled. Zion, I want to say Lonzo were practicing, doing warm-ups, taking free throws. That game gets canceled. Never actually happened. That game did get rescheduled for August, but obviously not in Sacramento. And then just one more for you, Victor Wembanyama. This one was the most recent. Wemby on February 22nd, 2024. Not that long ago, 19 points, 13 rebounds. I don't remember this part. 5 blocks, 5 steals for Wemby in his Sacramento debut. 8 of 21 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3 for Wemby in that game. So that one was clearly one to remember. I do remember that one. I was in the building for that one. I do remember thinking, obviously, Wemby had some moments where it's like, this guy's crazy, but 5 blocks, 5 steals feels like it would have stuck out more. Cool to say, cool to say on the box score that you saw that happen. So Cooper Flagg added to the list, I guess you could say, 23 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 7 of 13, 3 of 4 from 3. not quite as gaudy numbers as those other guys, but I would say still fits the category, fits the billing, especially of all of these guys, including one Wardell Stephen Curry, hit the most threes in his Sacramento debut of any of those guys. And of course, that was December 27th, 2025. Probably not a day that many of us will remember, but hey, it was a day in which the beam was lit. So you got to take them where you can get them. Coming up next, let's talk about the rookies. I'm going to give you my honest thoughts. I've kind of been jabbing Maxime a little bit today. I kind of gave you a little bit of a preview of what I think about Neek's season so far. Let's get more into it. We're going to talk Sacramento Kings rookies and my initial thoughts and honestly my honest thoughts on how their seasons have gone so far. You're listening to The Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Year-end pricing's in effect. Every vehicle's priced to sell before the new year during Happy Honda Days. At Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Get behind the wheel of your new Accord or Civic today. Own or lease during Happy Honda Days at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Visit us at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. Chris Young. Turnpike Troubadours. Dylan Scott and more. Line dancing live DJs, Mechanical Bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Michelob Ultra and Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. More info at CITBFest.com.
Guys, leave weight gain, low T, and ED in 2025. For a limited time, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is offering free full diagnostic panels of $400 value. It checks testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. Plus, qualified patients get up to 25% off select treatments now through year end. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sactown Sports 1140.
All right. Welcome back into the Drive, guys. Chris Watkins coming to you with minimal production value. All good, because it's not about the production value, honestly. I am somebody who cares quite a bit about, mic quality and audio quality and all that stuff. But, it's all good. And today we're just going to focus on the content, because content is king. And that's what you really come here for. You're listening to The Drive, guys. Bringing you all the way till 4 p.m. Monday Night Football. You got Rams, you got Falcons. Should be, I don't know if I'll say a good one, especially after you have the game that you had last night. It's tough to call something good, but it should be entertaining, I think. You know, I feel like the Rams are a team that really likes to make things difficult for themselves. Like, you know, they're one of these teams. I actually believe in the Rams, I feel like, more than most, but again, especially when you're I wouldn't say the Rams are in pole position. Obviously, they're actually in third in their own division. But, you know, it does feel like, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they are the betting favorites to win the NFC still. But, yeah, just feels like a team that gets in their own way quite a bit and doesn't quite play up to the talent that they have. But I'm a fan. I'm not a fan, not an actual fan, but I am I would say I am a bit on the side of the Rams taking the NFC this year. And it's mainly because, you know, again, we talked about the Seahawks. I don't really quite believe in them as a top-tier dog. It just doesn't feel like that big bad is out there, you know? Who is the let's do something timely. Who's the Vecna out there, you know? Who is the one that every team, there's no Patrick Mahomes. You can maybe say in the AFC, maybe they're saying that about Josh Allen, though you might want to be saying that about Drake May. I don't know. It just doesn't really feel like that big bad is out there in the NFC that everyone should be afraid of. I know it's a little bit of a cliche, but it feels like you kind of throw the records out a little bit in the NFC right now. And it's just whoever makes the dance, put them in the tournament and see who comes out of it. Because, again, it just doesn't really feel like any team has that clear and cut advantage. But we'll see. And we'll see how much of an effort the Rams give tonight. Again, they can't really win the division. They can still advance to the 5 seed. So still something to play for. But, yeah, again, kind of at this point in the season, you got to weigh the risks and figure, you know, what you're trying to set yourself up for in the long term. And speaking of setting yourself up for something in the long term, as, you know, I really wish I could find the Senior Segue nope, not going to look for it. Senior Segue strikes again. So there you go. As the Kings look to set up for their future in their draft picks this year, it's been a very interesting, well, I should say 2 draft picks and 1 unsigned rookie who has really impressed me, especially through his stint of games here. But let's start with Maxime, because I think Maxime is the one that is getting the most juice right now. Kyle and Alan, shout out those two. We're having quite a spirited conversation about, is Maxime's hype, for lack of a better term, justified? How far do we run with this? You know, do we have serious conversations of not do the Kings need Sabonis, but is it okay? Like, will the Kings be okay if they do move on from Sabonis? I just want to pump the brakes on those conversations, and I'm not necessarily saying that because I'm the biggest Domantas Sabonis fan and think that his value is being underrated right now, but it's more of just, you know, Maxime is playing very well, but I think situationally he is also being set up to have these kind of nights. You know, you could make the same argument with Domantas Sabonis from the rebounding standpoint that nobody else, there's not really many other bigs, especially when Sabonis was out there, that were looking to get rebounds. And so, of course, Domantas Sabonis by default is going to be getting 15 rebounds a night because they're just more available. Now, Maxime hasn't necessarily had that much freedom in terms of rebounds because Precious has played a lot of the minutes with Max so far this season, and I think that's obviously very intentional. Physicality is probably a big reason why for that. I think Max, obviously being a rookie, still has a little bit of growing to do in the NBA. But it's looked good. I mean, you would just be a hater to say that Maxime Reynaud has not looked good in the minutes that he's played. So far, 10 starts in December, 11 total games just in the month of December, 15.8 points, 9 rebounds, 57% from the field, 45% from 3 on 1 attempt per game. I'll talk about that. 0.7 blocks in 30 minutes per game in the month of December. Those are really good numbers. Those are incredible numbers for a first-year, second-round pick. Now, when you actually watch the games, is this Maxime Reynaud maybe controlling a game in the same way that a Derek Queen has, who's put up very impressive numbers. No, it's just not. They do it differently, and the impact is not the same. Derek Queen has the ball in his hands. Derek Queen plays a lot more like Domantas Sabonis than anybody else in the NBA. Obviously, Jokic aside. So, I just kind of feel like, and maybe I'm stemming this from Alan's conversation earlier. Alan was kind of comparing, from a numbers perspective, Maxime to Ivica Zubac. I don't know if I see that. I think the way that they get their points are different. The way they move around the floor is different. The things they're being asked to do, frankly, are different. The good from Maxime, he's got already amazing touch around the rim. His floater is there. It's an NBA floater. Both hands, too. That's the most impressive thing that should not go understated, as maybe Kings fans are familiar with the Marvin Bagley only has a left hand conversation. Maxime's got touch with his left. He's got touch with his right. He's got that turnaround, over-the-shoulder turnaround, not like a turnaround Kobe Bryant, Tracy McGrady turnaround jumper, but he's got that hook, that turnaround hook shot over the shoulder. That looks like it's something he can get to pretty frequently. The footwork is there. And I think that's something to work off of. Kings fans saw Rashawn Holmes cooked with that move, with just that push shot. And I heard Alan we'll talk about that with Dylan Cardwell. It's just an incredibly valuable shot that nobody can take away from you. That shot will always be available on the pick and roll every single time. Every single time if you can get to it. And you can obviously work counters off of it. But if that's your establishment, if that's your jab, if you will, you can work a lot off of that jab. And Maxime has that right now. And he's getting more comfortable with it. I think the fact that you see it already so early tells me that that's something that he's just had. That's part of his bag, if you will. And I think that's very translatable. I think that's something that you can 100% see him doing the rest of his career. And that's why I think at least Maxime Reynaud is a rotational backup big. I'm willing to say that at this point. His basketball IQ is another thing that's really good. His ability to talk, communicate on the defensive end of things is really, really high level, especially for a rookie. Especially for a rookie who the Stanford coach will openly admit he told not to really pay attention to the defensive development side of things. Not pay attention on defense, not care on defense, but more so, hey, we can't have you trying to block every single shot, because then if you get in foul trouble, we don't have you as an offensive weapon. And at the time, Maxime was their best offensive weapon. So I think Max's understanding, his IQ, his communication on the defensive end is really advanced, especially for somebody, again, who has not really been asked for that to be something for him to focus on. Also, his maturity and confidence, I would say, go hand in hand with that. Just, again, his comfort in his own skin. I think his communication ability really speaks to that. To be on the floor with Russell Westbrook, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, XYZ, and to have the confidence and comfort in your game, in your skin, to say, hey, you're supposed to cover me on that, or whatever it is. To openly be willing to call guys out. You don't do that unless you are very comfortable with yourself, if you're very comfortable with your game as well. And that's something that's not inherent. Like, you would think, oh yeah, all these dudes, NBA players, they all have a certain amount of confidence. Keegan don't, or is still developing that. Ben McLemore didn't have that. It's not inherent. And granted, those could just be, two very specific examples, but I just think it's just not a given to have that kind of confidence in yourself. And to know even if you're not right, I guess the confidence, I should flip that actually. The confidence to know that you're right. The confidence to say, yeah, I know Russ has been in the league for 18 years and I've been here for, 18 weeks, but I'm pretty sure that I'm right to say drop, or whatever it is, So again, a lot of positives for Max. His shot IQ is great. It's a blessing and a curse. I'd like to see him take more threes. I was promised he would be a good three-point shooter. He shot a good volume at Stanford, 5 per game. I think he made 35% or something like that at Stanford. So there's reason to believe that will come. But right now, 1 per game, 45%. It's great that he's making them versus not making them, but it's clear that he's not Lauri Markkanen, right? Like, he's not even, somebody that he was comped to, I believe the Stanford coach comped him to Kelly Olynyk. Kelly Olynyk is ready to shoot day one in the NBA. He was a stretch 5 even the day he walked in the NBA. Max, right now, theoretical stretch. You see it. You see some glimpses of it. There's no reason for me to believe it's not going to be there, but it's just, Maxime Reynaud is I believe I looked it up yesterday. He is shooting the same exact 3-point attempts and makes as Precious Achiuwa this season. So, Precious is 7 of 21. Max is 7 of 20. So there you go. And I'm not saying they're the same level shooter, but just again, that's more to say that's the kind of volume that we're talking about right now. It's there. It's just not necessarily a tool in his bag right now. I would say the thing that he needs to work on the most, screen setting 100%. That's getting stronger. That's watching film. That's working with your point guards to understand chemistry. He has to be a better screen setter, especially if he's going to be the only big out there. Utilizing him on that pick and roll, I mentioned that floater that he has, but also the 3-point shot, pick and pop game. If he can be a good screen setter, get that point guard to have to switch on to him because he sets such a good screen, and there's no better teacher than Domantas Sabonis for that. I think that can really take Max's game to another level, and that's kind of where he can be more impactful too, just as an NBA, just as a player, just every time he's out there. If you're a good screen setter, it's not something that's going to literally show up in any stat sheet, but it's something that coaches notice and they like. They definitely like it when they have somebody on the floor that they say, oh, I know if I put Steven Adams out there, he might not hit a jumper outside of the paint, but he's going to set a lot of screens and he's going to get my point guard open for 5 or 6 wide open mid-range at the bucket, spray out 3 attempts, and that's worth it. And so I think Max getting that in his bag would go a lot. Rebounding strength, I think, is just kind of overall maturity, body maturity and development. Rim protection, just overall rim protection. I think we've seen him block some shots as an individual defender. That's been great, but he's not. Dylan Cardwell is the obvious example to counter it or to show as the reflection of what you want him to be, but that's obviously very excessive. Max just isn't the leaper that Dylan is, and clearly doesn't have that kind of anticipation as well. But, him getting better as a rim protector would quell a lot of the concerns that I think people have now about his pairing with Domantas Sabonis. I think, Chet Holmgren is somebody who gets more than 2 blocks a game or close to 2 blocks a game. If Max were half or, a quarter of the offensive player he was, but had that level of rim protection, I think we're having different conversations about Maxime Reynaud. And then I'm just going to go shooting in general. Again, there's no reason to think the shooting won't come, but as of right now, the shooting is not there. I shouldn't even say not there. It's just he hasn't displayed it yet. He hasn't put it on full display. He's given us a taste, but as Alan would say, there's still a little hitchy woo-woo in there. You could still see a little bit of a jerk in his rise up. And so he's just got to kind of clean that stuff up. But again, there's no reason. The touch is there. The previous experience is there. I don't have his free throw percentage in front of me, but I can't imagine he's taking many free throws. But I know his free throw percentage isn't in the 50s or 60s or anything like that. So there's reason to believe that the shot will come with time. But I'm just not there yet on Maxime Reynaud. His per 36s, so if you were to play 36 minutes, his points average would be up at 17.6, 10 rebounds, 0.9 blocks. Again, still not even up at a block per game if you were to extrapolate his stats out to 36 minutes. Let's move on to Nick Clifford, who I think has had a pretty strange season as well. It's got to be a little bit weird for Nick as the second-round pick is playing better and more than you are right now. Obviously, circumstance, but it's just been clunky. It just hasn't really looked super smooth so far for Nick this season. Looking at his just raw season numbers, 5.4 points per game, 3.1 rebounds, 39% from the field, 28% from 3 on 18 minutes per game. I think I mentioned it earlier, but Doug has at least given him the opportunities to fail. He has played him through those moments of failure. Or just, I shouldn't say failure. I should just say not necessarily success, right? It might be semantics, but it's just like he's been a role player. He's been asked to go out there, be a hustle guy, go rebound, move the ball. His ball handling, I would say, has just in general been a positive. But yeah, it's been a work in progress for Nick. It has not been, I think, what anyone expected it to be. I don't think it's been what anyone hoped it to be. But I think there's something there. He's showing some signs of life. 7 points per game. 7.7 points per game in the month of December, 3.8 rebounds per game, 42% from the field, 25% from three. So the percentages still aren't there. 22 minutes a game just in the month of December. So those numbers have been up the past 10 or so games. But eye test wise, I'm just not there yet. Like, he just doesn't look comfortable. It's a little concerning, especially considering he's a little bit older in his career. 2-3 years in college. So, you're definitely not going to give up on a guy like this, especially not halfway through the season. But, I thought there would be something more obvious that I would say that is Nate Clifford's NBA skill. That is his NBA level, undeniable. He can go to any team and he can bring that to that team. I would say undoubtedly he's a good, especially positionally, he's a good rebounder. He can leap. He's got good instincts. He's got long arms. He's got the want to, which is part of it as well. He's a good rebounder. His ball handling is really solid. I don't think he's a point guard. I didn't like that talk in the preseason. But he can move it, we'll get into the nuances of his ball handling, but I think that is, in general, as a base statement, I would say he is a good ball handler. And his defensive mindset, and you can just say his mindset in general, has been really positive. He definitely is willing to be a role player out there. He seems to have a good head on his shoulders. He hasn't been down. We haven't seen body language look like, oh man, Nick Clifford's really defeated on this 8-24 team that he's not really starring for, even though he's their first round pick. He has done a really good job of remaining professional. Again, I think it helps that clearly Doug has told him, I'm going to allow you to make mistakes. I'm going to allow you to play through these things. But there just hasn't, for me, been enough moments where Nick has jumped off the screen. Again, athletically, I would say there's been moments where I say, okay, he can use that. It's functional. You can use that to rebound. I think you can be a good finisher because of your leaping ability. He's got decent speed. He's got good ball handling. There's bones there. There's good bones, but I think the concern might be, again, he wasn't a freshman that came out. He was somebody who, people knew about him in the draft and still fell to 22 or whatever it was. So it's a little, I wouldn't say concerning. I wouldn't say I'm concerned for Nick Clifford at this point, but it's on my radar. It's on my radar. I'm not, it's something definitely to watch, and I hope that there's a breakthrough of some sort sometime soon. The thing he needs to work on scoring ability in general, what's your offensive bag? Again, do you got a spin move? Do you have elite finishing ability? Is it your mid-range game? His scoring ability just has not really jumped off the page to me. He hasn't hit tough shots. And that kind of goes into shot creation too. And I might kind of be merging the two in my head, but to me, his shot creation is more individual, break somebody down, cross, making something that was not there. I don't know if I've seen Nick Clifford find comfort in what his moves are yet. In his shooting, his straight up shooting, I said his 3-point percentages. That's all I mean by that. He's got to be a better shooter. He has to be a 35+% shooter, especially as a guard. You're just not going to survive in this league if you can't hit that base level of threes. And he's 25% from the month, 28% for the season. That has to be better, especially if he's going to be a role player. I don't know many role players in today's NBA who can't shoot. That was Davion Mitchell's whole knock, right? And being small. But it's really tough to find spots for Nick if he's not going to even be able to hit open shots. And again, I'm not saying the ability isn't there. It just hasn't shown yet. And then there's Dylan Cardwell, who almost gets the benefit of simplicity, I would say. 6 games this season, last 6 games, he has played at least 16 minutes with a high of 26 in one of those games. In these last 6 games, 5 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, 1.3 assists, 1.2 steals, and 2.2 blocks. His per 36, 7.8 points, 9.8 rebounds, 2 steals, 3.6 blocks. 6.7 fouls. So technically, his per 36 wouldn't even exist because he'd foul out. But again, he benefits from simplicity. He is out there, and I am expecting Dylan Cardwell to do 2 to 3 very simple things. Hustle, rebound, screen, and be a lob threat. There's 4. Those are very simple. And he does all of those things very, very well. I don't need Dylan Cardwell shooting threes. It'd be nice if Dylan Cardwell added a push shot to quote-unquote extend his range, I guess. Because right now, if he's not dunking it, I don't want him shooting. But I think he knows that. And like, he's just that kind of player. He's not somebody who's trying to step outside the box. He knows what his box is. And he does his box really, really, really well. And it's not the same thing that is asked of Maxime Reynaud. Max is asked to, have a little offensive wiggle, to maybe hit a 3, to also rim protect, and not at the same level of Dylan Cardwell, but to be a threat in a semi-similar fashion. So it's not fair, but I do think Dylan Cardwell definitely benefits from simplicity, from the fact that we don't need a ton from a guy like you. We just need you to highlight what you're great at. And Dylan Cardwell is a great leaper. He is physically, his body is incredible. Like, he's strong. He looks like, Dwight Howard. He looks like a dude who's been in the league for a couple years. Like, he looks like, he does not look like an undrafted rookie. And I think that's why I'm comfortable with Dylan playing right now. And I think, now, am I going to say Dylan Cardwell, starter of the future or anything like that? I don't know. And I won't even definitely say Dylan Cardwell can play on all 30 NBA teams. But I think if you need that role filled, which the Kings do, they don't have anybody who does what Dylan Cardwell does. He's incredibly valuable. Like, every team needs one of these guys, especially if the Kings are going to at some point bring in a young point guard. Getting that easy lob threat can take so much pressure off of you. And it can create so much. And, I already talked about Maxime and what screen setting would do for him. But like Dylan, same definitely applies. And so I've liked what I've seen from Dylan Cardwell in general. But I think it's, he also has a pretty capped ceiling. Like, I don't know how DeAndre Jordan, like, that to me is about it. And DeAndre Jordan, all-star, like, all NBA defense. That's very, very good for Dylan Cardwell. But DeAndre Jordan also had his limitations. And so it's very exciting to see him play. It's very exciting to see him do what he does, and he does it very, very well, and he knows himself, which is the most important thing in my opinion. And again, another kid who's got a great head on his shoulders. He definitely, somebody told me in this radio game a long time ago, like, you either get it or you don't. And with radio, like, it's kind of, it's not taking yourself too seriously. And that's the people who get it in radio are the people who don't take themselves too seriously. The people who don't get it are the ones who just, they think that this show is gospel and that they can do no wrong. And they are telling you what it is and there is no other. And I think Dylan Cardwell very much understands, I am not Nikola Jokic. I am asked to do what I am asked to do, and that is bring energy every single night. Control the controllables. And I think that's what Dylan Cardwell does very, very well, is controlling the controllables. Coming up next, I'm going to tell you exactly why I know, as I say, radio man who gets it is the one who doesn't know everything. But I'm going to tell you why I know the Kings offense has improved these past couple weeks and why it was one of the worst things you could have watched as recently as a month ago. We'll get into that coming up next. You're listening to The Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
CVS Health supports people in the moments that matter, from picking up a prescription to connecting care. With nearly 5 million daily interactions and serving 185 million consumers and 1.5 million healthcare professionals, CVS Health holds a trusted place in healthcare. By simplifying care and improving health, we're helping people get the care they need. Learn more at cvshealth.com/Investor Day. This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Coach Christie here, letting you know the year-end sell-a-thon is on at Folsom Lake Ford, and with your approved credit, get 0% financing plus 0 down, plus no payments for 90 days on select new Fords. Hurry to Folsom Lake Ford today. Interest accrues from date of purchase.
Listen to the 49ers Red Zone Report daily, brought to you by Mountain Mike's Pizza, the official pizza of the 49ers. Mountain Mike's Pizza, pizza the way it ought to be.
At InShape, there's a place for every kind of mover. The sometimer, the early riser, after-work grinder, the yogi, lifter, walker, runner, sauna seeker, recoverer. If you walk, lift, stretch, or sweat, you belong. Start the year strong and join today at InShape.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
The clock is ticking. This holiday season, give the gift they'll really love. A new Honda from Northern California's best Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Happy Honda days are happening right now. Score big with low payments, top trade-in value, and a huge selection of new Hondas, all at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on the results of the study recognized on June 18, 2025, USA Today's list of California's top car dealers 2025.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Oh, yeah. Welcome in, everybody, again, to a low pro. You call it a lo-fi, right? Everyone's into the lo-fi YouTube music channel and all that stuff. Welcome into a lo-fi edition of The Drive, guys, here on Sactown Sports, bringing you up to 4 p.m. as the Los Angeles Rams take on the Atlanta Falcons to wrap up Week 17. And, looking at it here, Cooper Kupp, as I'm stuck in the past. Puka Nacua leading the NFL in receptions and second, I believe, in receiving yards, though that might have been the Rams in total, actually, now that I'm looking at the graphic. Rams, very prolific pass game, nonetheless. I believe Puka Nacua is going for the receiving title, and that is probably going to be his major motivation in this one, as the Rams really aren't playing for again, we can do the conversation of, like, is the juice worth the squeeze? The Niners obviously playing the Seahawks next week for the division. There's only so much that the Rams can do in terms of determining their own fate. If they want, they can go relatively all out for these last couple games and try and improve seeding, or they can just kind of play their starters minimally and let the chips fall where they will. We'll see how that all ends up going. Should be interesting. Should be interesting in that one. But I do want to tell you that no doubt the Sacramento Kings offense these past 2 weeks has been better. Now, when I say better, that does not mean that it has been great. It does not mean it has been good even. It just means that it is not last in the NBA like it was for the 2-week stretch leading into these past 2 weeks. So it's something I noticed really a lot in that Minnesota game that the Kings lost, is that the offense just was not doing anything. Frankly, it looked a lot like the offense last night. And last night was the first time that, I'd seen the offense kind of look boggled down in that fashion. And as I was watching those games 2 weeks ago, when they were playing Minnesota, it was just very clear to me that the Kings weren't running anything offensively. You would watch every single possession, and it was run down, put guys in the corners. You put two guys or one guy in each corner. You got a guy at the wing, guy at the opposite wing, and then you got the guy at the top of the key. Who's we'll call him Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook calls for a screen. They run the pick and roll. He either gives it to Maxime. If he doesn't, Russ tries to get downhill. If it's not there, then it's like pass out to the corner and then rinse and repeat. It wasn't Doug Christie calling plays and organized movement or anything like that. It was just dudes out there hooping for real. And that should not be the case at an NBA level. Now, to an extent it can be, right? Like, you could call it flow offense, right? You can call it dribble drive, all of it, and it is. It undoubtedly is that. But when it's not going well, it doesn't look good. And frankly, as an NBA coach, that's kind of where you have to play the game of, okay, you can play a flow offense if you believe that your players are good enough to go out there, roll the ball out, and figure it out because you just have the talent. Some coaches say that that's just the easiest way to win in today's NBA. But then you can look at a situation and say, we're clearly at a talent disparity or a talent disadvantage tonight. I might have to try and coach us into having a chance. And it just, to me, didn't feel like a couple weeks ago that's how Doug was coaching. It didn't feel like that's how the Kings were playing. They did not feel like they were trying to maximize every possession. They did not feel like they were trying to get the best shot out of every possession. They did not look like they had any idea that, like, how they wanted that possession to end. It just felt like they were, in the words of Keon Ellis, just be out there hooping for real. And that's not going to get it done when the NBA is as deep as it is. And the Kings don't have superstar talent. Superstar talent in their prime, you could say. And so, yeah, that's really the thing that I noticed. Again, 2 weeks ago, when was that? December 14th. So from the stretch of November 30th through December 14th, a 2-week span, the Kings were 30th, dead last in the NBA in offensive rating, 105.8, from November 30th through December 14th. From December 15th on, Kings are 22nd in the NBA. So again, just not last. I'm not saying they've been incredible. I'm just saying they have undoubtedly been better. That offensive rating goes from 105.8, which was, again, dead last in the NBA for that 2-week stretch, to these past 2 weeks, 111.4. 6 points per 100 possessions better. Undeniably better the Kings offense has been. And it's been mainly because these past 2 weeks, I've actually seen them run stuff. And I don't know, I haven't heard anybody ask Doug, what has clicked these past couple weeks. But to me, it's probably as simple as, Sabonis was out. They weren't sure how long Maxime was going to be in that lineup for. And they really didn't have plays that Maxime knew, or I wouldn't even put it solely on Maxime, but I would just say him as the catalyst for, we had a lot of pieces moving around, and a lot of those pieces didn't quite, have our concepts down to the level of maybe the frequent players did. And now that, these guys have been playing for a couple weeks all together, Sabonis is out, and like they've just had time to gel more so. There's more confidence in calling plays. There's more Situational awareness, maybe. Maybe Doug's just gotten more comfortable with his team. Maybe Doug's becoming a better coach as the season develops. Maybe it's all of those things. It doesn't have to just be one. But I do know for sure the offense is undeniably better. For the season, for what it's worth, the Kings' offensive rating in total, 109.1, 29th in the NBA. 109.1 for the season. Again, these past 2 weeks, 111.4. I'm not saying they're reinventing the wheel or the motion offense or dribble drive or spring kick. Like, it's not like they're, going to the school of Phil Jackson or whatever. It just, to me, feels like they're actually running offense and they're actually looking to get guys in advantageous situations. Clear, like, I don't love it all the time, but like clear out a side for DeMar DeRozan to post up. Do the same for Keegan Murray. I know Keegan's obviously out right now for the week, but, those are the kind of things that I've liked to see. I've just liked to see more of it. And I don't know, we really don't talk a lot about Doug Christie and his development. Scott Perry has, frankly. Scott Perry has mentioned it now multiple times, and we'll talk about it tomorrow when I'm in the afternoon with Kyle. But I think what we might have been seeing these past couple weeks, as some people have tuned out for the holidays, is a little bit of coaching development out of Doug. And I could be wrong. I could be overreading it. But to me, it's pretty clear that, again, the offense is just flowing better. It could be Max is playing well, and Max, I think, definitely has a good part to play in it. And Russ has played really well in these last 2 weeks as well, shooting really well. But I don't know. I think I have to give credit where credit is due, and I would put it feels weird to say, hey, Doug Christie, good job for like calling plays out there, but yeah, truly, like, good job for getting these guys organized. Because it was not organized. It was not organized at all. And, it is the one thing that you can undoubtedly say about Doug so far this season. You can say whatever about the record. You could say whatever about the quality of the players or the team or how they've played. But Doug has not lost the locker room, which is, some would say, bare minimum. But truly, like, that's the straw that breaks the camel's back. And it wouldn't be crazy. I don't think would happen. I didn't think it would happen. I don't think it will happen. But crazier things have happened than a coach getting fired midway through their first season in the NBA. And so it's, you could say, oh, they would never. What? Like, Doug Christie was never on the hot seat. They weren't going to fire him. They just hired him. Crazier things have happened. And the Kings' record, frankly, I think it would be fair to have that conversation. Now, obviously, there's some nuance with Doug as well, but I think that, again, we'll give credit where credit is due. And he has not lost that locker room. He has not lost the veterans in that locker room. Russ is clearly still, which, by the way, Russell Westbrook, 36, 37 years old, and this guy is just playing every single night. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane to me. And DeMar, too. Like, shout out to DeMar, who routinely does play 82 games. He's missed a couple, I think, this year, and missed a couple last year as well, which is funny because he was just, Mr. Consistent in terms of games played. But shout out Russ and DeMar for that. That is, again, where I think their veteran presence needs to show the most, is showing these guys how to get prepared on a daily basis and showing these guys what it looks like to be an NBA player every single day and what it takes to get ready and what it takes to stay healthy. And so those are the positives, I guess. If I didn't know that's much like apparently the Kings a couple weeks ago, I didn't know that that's where this segment was going to end. But apparently, yeah, I just kind of wanted to, I guess, give credit where credit is due. And though I didn't watch on Sunday because I didn't feel compelled or nothing was calling to me, nonetheless, I would say it's undeniable that the Kings are playing well, or better, I should say. The Kings are playing better offensively. And I think Doug Christie is definitely coaching better these past couple weeks. But it is really hard to see Mike Brown and De'Aaron Fox, for that matter, playing in the NBA Cup and both having opportunities on Christmas Day to shine on the NBA's biggest stage. That has really nothing to do with Doug or anything that I talked about, but it does nonetheless hurt. So there you go. There you have it. I guess that was a little bit of therapy for me right there as we wind down the show, heading into our final segment of the day. The NBA All-Star fan returns. The first returns come in. And let me tell you, it might have not been a Sacramento problem when it came to De'Aaron Fox. I'll tell you more about why I say that coming up on the other side. You're listening to The Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
You live for this. The wins, the losses, the slam dunks, and the buzzer beaters. The dream that this is your team's year. Hope. It's what keeps you coming back. So you represent with anticipation and with pride. Because when everything's on the line, your support means everything. That's why the NBA Store is here to support you. Check out the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Guys, leave weight gain, low T, and ED in 2025. For a limited time, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is offering free full diagnostic panels. A $400 value. It checks testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. Plus, qualified patients get up to 25% off select treatments now through year end. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
For over 90 years, Hagen Oaks has partnered with the biggest brands in golf to bring cutting-edge technology to your game. Our one-of-a-kind total game fitting offers a level of experience and precision that is unmatched. From driver to putter, footwear to golf balls, our TrackMan-powered performance studios, 3D footwear scanner, and Ping's Ballnamic ball fitting kiosk ensure every piece of your gear is tailored to your swing. Trust the experts at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Total game fitting starts here. At Elk Grove Honda, our recipe for happy holidays is to think Happy Honda Days. Let's explain. Happy is a good thing. We all like happy. Happy stands for quality, reliability, comfort, design, peace of mind, value at resale, and a lot more important words. And days is how long you have to take advantage of Elk Grove Honda's 2025 Accord, Pilot, and Ridgeline year-end clearance underway right now. Elk Grove Honda is located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard, or on the web at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Award-winning guitarist and songwriter Gary Clark Jr.
So we gotta move in the
Tour 2026, Saturday, January 31st, 7 p.m., the venue at Thunder Valley. An electrifying night of music with Gary Clark Jr. Special guest, Marcus King Band. On sale at the venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Gary Clark Jr. Live.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Live and local, it's The Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Uh-oh. Don't look now. Welcome in to the final segment of The Drive Guys for the day. Chris Watkins leading you all the way up to Monday Night Football, Rams and Falcons. That one will be kicking off at 5:15 right here on your airwaves. Short show today. Got a full one tomorrow. I'm going to be in the afternoon holding it down for Alan Stiles. Alan and Kayla Anderson will be holding it down on the afternoon. Full show. So yeah, should be a good one. We're figuring things out over here on our side of things. But I did want to get into, as I teased, the first fan results, or I should say the first All-Star results came in for the fan vote. Something I don't really care about. I'm not really a massive fan of how the NBA has the fans determine essentially who's going to be an All-Star. I know sometimes, like, I think Andrew Wiggins got voted as an All-Star starter because this is actually no joke, because K-pop, because like the Warriors had like a K-pop band vote Andrew Wiggins for All-Star on their socials, and that's just a whole nother universe that we can get into. But long story short, essentially, fan voting can be skewed. So I've never been a huge fan of it, but nonetheless, I think this more so points out something that I want to highlight. Luka Doncic, most votes, 1.2 mil. Jokic, 1.1 mil. Steph, over a mil, just over. Those are the top three vote getters in the Western Conference. And then I'm just going to quickly go through the list of 4 through 20. The top 20 Western Conference vote getters. Shea, Wemby, Ant, Denny Advia, 7. Kevin Durant, 8. LeBron, 9. Austin Reeves, Şengün, Harden, AD, Jamal Murray, Devin Booker, Lauri Markkanen, Jimmy Butler, Stephon Castle, number 18. Chet Holmgren, 19. Kawhi Leonard, 20. Now, again, I don't really care about the final results of any of that or what any of that means. It really doesn't matter who finishes what position where. I think it's first 5 get starting. It might even be like only the top vote getter gets in or something like that. I honestly don't know, and I probably should have that answer for you. But my bigger point, and I know he didn't start the season playing, but De'Aaron Fox not being on this list tells me it wasn't all Sacramento. The De'Aaron Fox doesn't get enough love. The don't sleep on De'Aaron Fox. The hey. Of course, De'Aaron's not getting recognized. He's playing out in Sacramento. Who cares? Who pays attention? Sure. 2 things can be true. I'm just saying, I don't think it was all just Sacramento. And what I'm more saying, because I'm not trying to be vague with it, I just think that maybe De'Aaron Fox isn't the star that he might think he is or think that he deserves to be, because that's just not how the game is played anymore. He thinks, I'm a good player. People care about ball. Ball is life. And at the end of the day, ball speaks louder than anything else, any social media post. I just think that's just not true. I just think that's not true. I think that part of the reason why maybe De'Aaron Fox isn't the star that he or maybe Rich Paul thinks he is because marketing. Like, I just don't think he's done a great job marketing himself. I think that, like the Under Armour signing, it should be interesting what happens with that, by the way, because Steph obviously separating from Under Armour. I know De'Aaron was very clearly under the Curry brand, but, that's just probably not what De'Aaron signed up for. My bigger point is I think like his style of play, I think there's a lot of reasons why De'Aaron Fox isn't the star that maybe he should be. But Sacramento is not the reason he does not get the notoriety, or not the sole reason why. I think it doesn't help that he doesn't do crazy dunks like he used to, like as simple as that is. How often was Ja Morant leaping over somebody? And it got to the point where Ja wasn't even converting the dunks. He was just trying them. And it was still getting all house highlights. And so, I I'm not going to go into the specific. I'm not De'Aaron's marketing team. I don't need to tell him how he needs to actually get famous. But when I see 20 names in just the Western Conference that you couldn't get more votes than, and Stephon Castle is number 18 on that list with 93,000 votes for what it's worth. Also, we're not even talking about, like, again, Steph third with 1 million. Sure, I don't expect 1 million people to take time out of their day to go vote for De'Aaron Fox for All-Star. If anything, I would say if De'Aaron was in Sac, he'd probably have more votes because you do have that Sacramento push. Now you can get into the logistics of like, oh, he was the number 1 star in Sacramento, and this is clearly putting it out there. He's the number 3 star in San Antonio right now if we're just talking about star power. Steph Castle is got more juice. It's a word that keeps coming up today. I honestly am saying this more from surprise. I thought De'Aaron Fox had more juice. I did think some of it was he's in Sac. Like, yeah, I don't love that it's a fact, but the reality is nobody cares about Sacramento until they're forced to. But I don't know. This just kind of showed me, again, that 2 things can be true. And I think that's probably the reality of what this is. Yes, Sacramento did not help De'Aaron Fox and his star power. But man, what's his excuse now? He's in San Antonio. It's definitely not Times Square. But it didn't hurt Steph Castle. Number 18. De'Aaron's played well. Like, that's the other thing is, like, it's not as if De'Aaron hasn't played well and so he hasn't been in the light. De'Aaron was great in that NBA Cup run. He's been really good for them. He's hit some clutch shots for him, been there in clutch moments, and he also hasn't been at times as well. We all know Wemby's obviously the number 1 there, but I don't know, man. It's not quite how I wanted to end the show in terms of vibes, but yeah, it just definitely stuck out to me that De'Aaron Fox not on that list, and it just kind of felt like he should have been. Like I just don't really quite understand what the if you're De'Aaron's team, what are you saying? Like, it's not Sacramento. Oh, well, I tell you, you're probably saying, oh, those first couple weeks really hurt you. Missing those first couple weeks is probably the reason why you didn't make the All-Star team. We'll see, man. Unless they end up being what everyone expects them to be, the perennial number 1 seed. It might be tough for De'Aaron, tougher than De'Aaron Fox thought, for him to kind of get out of the shadow of Wemby and apparently Steph Castle. Again, Stephon Castle, 18th, just in the West, 93,000 votes. Norm Powell on the East got 100,000 votes. And De'Aaron couldn't even get that. And I'm if anything, if anyone's picking sides, I would say I am Team Fox in all of this. And even I will have to tell you, buddy, can't blame Sacramento for this one. You just can't. Because 2 of your teammates are on that list and you're not. And I'm not here to relish in it or anything like that, but it definitely stuck out to me. And if anything, I would say it's a positive for all you out here in Sacramento because, again, I'm fairly certain, even if De'Aaron Fox missed the first 2 weeks of the season, if he was in Sacramento, Kings fans would have put him at least on this list. No Kings, for what it's worth. Saying that, no Kings obviously made that 20 list. And as I mentioned earlier, it's probably because things are starting to feel a little bit different now. But we'll get into that and more tomorrow. Again, Chris Watkins, been filling in on the Drive Guys. I will be in tomorrow in the midday. Kyle Ledbetter, 10 a.m., 2 p.m. Alan Stiles holding it down in the afternoon. Hope you all enjoyed this one. Enjoy yourself some Monday Night Football. Rams at Falcons. Kickoff 5:15. We'll talk to you tomorrow, y'all. Have a good one.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Between all the holiday parties,
weekend tailgates,
and family get-togethers,
we've been overindulging a little more than usual over the holidays. But now, we are starting the new year off on a healthier note by taking Active Liver supplements from New Nordic every day.
Active Liver contains a powerful blend of turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke extract, all natural ingredients that help protect the liver so that it can protect you from toxins. It's like giving my body a daily detox. I've never felt better, and my energy is through the roof.
And my doctor is already impressed with how much better my numbers are looking. So if better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today and start the year off knowing you're giving your liver some well-deserved relief.
Active Liver is available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com. Or pick some up today at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery. Are now available at Wegmans. New year, new you, new Nordic.
Coach Christie here letting you know the year-end sell-a-thon is on at Folsom Lake Ford. And with your approved credit, get 0% financing plus 0 down, plus no payments for 90 days on select new Fords. Hurry to Folsom Lake Ford today. Interest accrues from date of purchase.
Call Maverick Electrical to claim your free furnace tune-up or electrical safety check with a donation. This month, donate 5 canned foods to Maverick Electric's Holiday Food Drive and get a free furnace tune-up or electrical safety check. They'll collect your cans at the appointment and make sure your heat stays comfy and your lights stay steady, so the only thing whistling is the kettle, not your ductwork. Visit callamaverick.com to schedule your free tune-up today.
We're a Maverick too, 'cause you're a Maverick too.
Give to get with no gimmicks. Limited appointments. Some restrictions apply.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? Sunpoint Public Adjusters can help. Sunpoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call Sunpoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. Sunpoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Just announced, Stockton Honda has been named #1 of California's best car dealers in 2025 by USA Today and Statista. This prestigious award is based on thousands of customer reviews and recommendations, ranking dealerships for service, value, and satisfaction. Out of hundreds evaluated, Stockton Honda is proud to be #1, recognized for all-around excellence and commitment to our customers. Visit Stockton Honda, where reputation meets the road.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sactown Sports 1140.
The BetMGM Network. Hit that subscribe button. We've already got plenty of comments flowing in the chat. Get aboard, pour yourself a stiff one. It's still technically the holiday season, so drink some beer, right? And Brad, I know you're a big tequila guy, right? Fire up a little tequila here Monday night. You got no work tomorrow, hopefully, maybe. Who cares if you do or if you don't? The kiddies don't have school. New Year's Eve's coming up. Go crazy. Go crazy.
Team with the Falcons hosting the Los Angeles Rams alongside my dad, Mike Golick Sr. I'm Mike Golick Jr. and closing out an incredible run here in Week 17 with this one tonight. Plenty of action to get to, ramifications both on the injury front and in, I know your favorite, the playoff scenarios front for teams around the league as we head into an incredible Week 18. But what an incredible matchup that we've got coming up tonight, especially as it relates to the NFC West, where these Los Angeles Rams, who roll down to Atlanta Falcons team, who can have an impact on this playoff scene if they were to win out. In the next 2 games, the Atlanta Falcons could ensure that the Carolina Panthers, regardless of the